acknowledging that we're gathered on stolen land. This is the land of the Yagara and Turrbal peoples, and sovereignty was never ceded. We want to pay respects to elders of this place. Uncle Sam Watson's going to join us at the other end for a few comments, but particularly want to acknowledge that First Nations peoples have been leading the struggle against police suppression and state violence and government control for hundreds of years now, since the beginning of the invasion. We want to pay a lot of respect to those people for leading that struggle. So we're here this morning, unfortunately, because the state government has proposed a range of new laws that are going to crack down upon and discourage peaceful protest, and that is outrageous. But this is happening in the context of a broader crackdown on peaceful protest, where at all levels of government we're seeing persistent attacks on our right to gather in public spaces, on our right to organise freely. We've seen at the council level and also at the state level, politicians from both the major parties calling anyone who gathers on a road or marches on a road a dangerous extremist, and I'm disgusted by that, and I think we should all be outraged by that. But let's talk about extremism for a little bit, hey? Let's talk about the extremists who lock up Aboriginal children as young as 12 in the adult cells down at the Roma Street Courthouse. Let's talk about the extremists who invade countries overseas, who sell weapons to war zones, and then when refugees come here seeking shelter, we lock them up in offshore detention centres. Let's talk about the dangerous extremists who would put the profit margins of a few wealthy billionaires and multinational corporations over the safety and security of literally billions of people in third world countries. I'm outraged, and we should all be outraged, because our government is trying to demonise us and make it look like we're the ones with the problem, when actually, Anastasia Palaszczuk, you're the extremist. You are the extremist, Anastasia Palaszczuk, and this is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line. Protesting is not a crime. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line. Protesting is not a crime. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line.
Protesting is not a crime.
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line.
Protesting is not a crime.
Now, I'm angry that we have to be here this morning. I'm outraged that our government has forced our hand in this way. We shouldn't have to do this. And I want the people who are watching to understand that we've been willing to compromise and negotiate, even as late as yesterday and even this morning. I actually said to Brisbane City Council, you know what? We're happy to gather in the open space behind me. We're happy to gather off the road in the open space of the mall and march up through the Queen Street Mall to minimise traffic disruption. That's what I said to Council. I said, look, you know what? Happy to compromise. They wouldn't even agree to that. So when they tell you off about blocking roads, let's just remember that the council is complicit in this, and I think it's pretty annoying when the council blames us for traffic congestion, as though we're the ones who underinvested in the bus and train network for 30 years, as though we're the ones who don't know how to plan a sustainable transport network. So I've got one little chant specifically for it's a call, like I'll read out each line and you can sing it after me. You criticise and shame us.
You criticise and shame us.
'Cause we don't buy your scamming.
'Cause we don't buy your scamming.
But don't you try to blame us.
But don't you try to blame us.
For your crappy transport planning.
For your crappy transport planning.
You criticise and shame us.
You criticise and shame us.
'Cause we don't buy your scamming.
'Cause we don't buy your scamming.
But don't you try to blame us.
But don't you try to blame us.
For your crappy transport planning.
For your crappy transport planning.
Nice. So we're not going to do too much talking at this end. We'll be marching down Edward Street quite soon and having a few speeches at the other end. But I did want to invite up Bo Spearham, who's involved with Warriors of the Aboriginal Resistance, Brisbane Aboriginal Sovereign Embassy, and quite a few other struggles. As I said before, really the fundamental catalyst for today's rally is that the state government is proposing to increase stop and search powers. They want to give police the power to stop and search anyone who they suspect looks like they might be attending a protest. And as all of us here know, those stop and search powers are overwhelmingly used to criminalise and harass people of First Nations backgrounds, people of colour. And so I'd like you all to welcome Bo to the microphone to share his thoughts.
Also, I'd like to pay my respects to the traditional owners. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. like I'm not going to talk too much, you know, on these laws, but what I want to touch on is a result of colonial violence, you know, that's been dished out to Aboriginal people. One of the last public executions of an Aboriginal person was just behind us. What now is known as post office squares was the gallows. The last public execution was of a man by the name of Dundalli, who fought for the freedoms, who fought for the law, who fought for the rights of Aboriginal people, and in particular within this area. One of the last things he said, just up here on this hill towards where Central train station is, there was some Aboriginal warriors and family members, and they chanted and they clapped their boomerangs and spears together just before he was dropped, and his last words were, "Revenge me." You know, and I believe within those words, what he meant was, you know, when these laws and when these acts and when these things come up, always do something about them. The greatest thing that can ever happen to people is that we come together. You know, we saw through the 80s and the 70s, under the Joe era, there was punks, there was queers, there was blacks, there was unions, there was women, there was everybody. That's what fought to get rid of, you know, these racist laws. That's what happened back in these days, you know. And so when we're confronted with laws like this, you know, we need to do what is the most responsiblest thing that we can do. Do we want our children to live under this? I certainly don't want my two babies to live under this. And so if I can, you know, put my hand up and be a part of this, and just like everybody else, it's really, really important. You know, Jono touched on, you know, the overrepresentation of young people, 10-year-olds, you know, in these watch houses. You know, one of the last deaths in custody here within the city was in 1992 in Musgrave Park, which is not far from here. And this is what happens when we talk about police representation and the repression towards Aboriginal people. Is this going to be any different? Is it different, you know, to what Aboriginal people face now? No, it's not. You know, the difference is that people are becoming aware of how fucked up the police are and how fucked up, you know, some of these laws are when it comes to the treatment of people. You know, so what we're going to do, it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to stand up and to fight back. It's our responsibility to ask ourselves, what future do we want for our kids, for our grandkids? That's the biggest thing that we can do. And the greatest thing we can do is continue to come together. Like I said before, under the Joe era, everybody was together. They all knew that. You know, clubs were getting raided because there was punks in there and they didn't like their music. You know, queer houses were getting raided because they thought, you know, that was, you know, blasphemy or whatever. West End and inner city areas were getting raided because Aboriginal people were talking about liberation. These are the conversations that we have today. We have them in our own silos. You know, we may have differences, but when things like this happen, we need to put those differences aside and come together. Because, like I said, the greatest thing we can do now is come together and fight back. Thank you.
Thanks, very well said. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice,
no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
We'll stop the disruption when you stop the corruption.
We'll stop the disruption when you stop the corruption. We'll stop the disruption when you stop the corruption. We'll stop the disruption when you stop the corruption.
We'll stop the disruption
when you stop the corruption. We'll stop the disruption when you stop the corruption.
We've got one more chat and then we'll get moving. Another call and response to the thing. White collar criminals.
White collar criminals.
Selfish elitists.
Selfish elitists.
Screwing all our futures.
Screwing all our futures.
You're the real extremists.
You're the real extremists.
White collar criminals.
White collar criminals.
Selfish elitists.
Selfish elitists.
Screwing all our futures.
Screwing all our futures.
You're the real elitists.
You're the real elitists.
White collar criminals.
White collar criminals.
Selfish elitists.
Selfish elitists.
Screwing all our futures.
Screwing all our futures.
You're the real extremists.
You're the real extremists.
Let's march, everyone. We're going to be marching to my right. That's your left, down Edward Street. We'll be training up Charlotte Street. We're going to kick it off right now. Let's go.
Hey, how are you? Good. Sorry? Gotta wake up early if you want to block traffic.
Now! What do we want? Right to protest! Now!
What do we want?
The right to protest! Now!
What do we want?
The right to protest! Now! The right to protest! Now! The right to protest! Now!
The line. Protesting is not a crime. Protesting is not a crime. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line. Protesting is not a crime. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line. Protesting is not a crime. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line. Protesting is not a crime. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line. Protesting is not a crime. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line. Protesting is not a crime. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line. Protesting is not a crime. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. White collar criminals. Selfish elitists. Selfish elitists. Democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. Woo!
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Always was, always will be
Aboriginal land.
Always was,
Always will be Aboriginal land.
always was,
Always will be Aboriginal land.
always was, always will be,
Aboriginal land.
always was,
Always will be Aboriginal land.
white collar criminals,
White collar criminals.
selfish elitists,
Selfish elitists.
screwing all our futures.
Screwing all our futures.
You're the real extremists.
You're the real extremists.
White collar criminals.
White collar criminals.
Selfish elitists.
Selfish elitists.
Screwing all our futures.
Screwing all our futures. You're the real extremists.
You criticize and shame us.
You criticize and shame us.
Cause we don't buy your scamming.
Cause we don't buy your scamming.
But though you try to blame us.
But though you try to blame us for your crappy transport planning, you criticize and shame us. Cause we don't buy your scamming. But though you try to blame us for your crappy transport planning,
You criticize and shame us.
you criticize and shame us. Cause we don't buy your scamming. Don't you try to blame us for your crappy transport planning. Protesting is not a crime. Protesting is not a crime. Protesting is not a crime.
Cross the line. Protesting is not a crime. Cross the line.
Protesting is not a crime.
Cross the line.
Protesting is not a crime. Protesting is not a crime.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Protesting is not a crime. 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 Hey, shouldn't you people be at work? What are you doing? Do you have a job? Do you have a job? Where do you work?
Protesting is not a crime.
I know this guy.
This guy should get a job.
Yeah, get a job. Get a job, mate. What are you doing?
Job.
You're doing a job?
Uh-huh.
What's your job?
Representing
Representing the people.
people.
Unlike all the other politician
I was
bludgers.
speaking to a constituent just a moment ago.
Where are you? You're doing your job,
Two
man.
of them, in fact. White collar criminals.
Selfish elitists.
Selfish elitists.
Screwing all our futures.
Screwing all our futures.
You're the real extremists.
You're the real extremists.
White collar criminals.
White collar criminals.
Selfish elitists.
Selfish elitists.
Screwing all our futures.
Screwing all our futures.
You're the real extremists.
You're the real extremists.
No justice, no peace.
No
racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace.
No racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No racist police.
Palaszczuk, cross the line. Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime!
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime!
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime!
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a
crime! Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a
crime.
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like.
We'll stop that disruption when you stop that corruption!
We'll stop the disruption when you stop the corruption. We'll stop the disruption when you stop the corruption.
We'll stop the disruption!
When you stop the corruption.
We'll stop that disruption!
When you stop the corruption.
We'll stop that disruption!
When you stop the corruption. When you stop the corruption. Hey.
Protesting is not a crime! 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 Protesting is not a crime!
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime!
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime.
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime. Woo!
Protesting is not a crime!
Sorry.
Protesting is not a crime! Protesting is not a crime! Protesting is not a crime! This is what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Thanks so much, everyone. I promised you we'd be done by 9 a.m. and I have a meeting at like 9:30 that I want to make it to. But we just did want
Thank you
to
very
make a few
much.
more comments and just highlight for those who... Some of you are vaguely aware that
didn't want to
there
get
are
arrested
tighter
for just
laws to
having a
crack down on
pointed stick.
protests, but I don't think everyone quite understands the ramifications
Lost
of
the
this.
flag.
The statements we've seen from the Premier are really ambiguous. They don't clearly define exactly what is going to be criminalised, but we know from other legislation in other states like New South Wales that they draft things quite broadly and ambiguously on purpose. And that gives police broad powers to go after whoever they want. It gives them a really broad excuse, essentially, to target people who they don't like the look of. And as we said before, it's actually the... yeah, it's the cameras that are actually killing the...
Oh no, mainstream media. It's killing the vibe.
But he came prepared.
Check.
There we go, look at that.
I came prepared with a wide knife. Is that coming through okay?
Yeah.
So as I was saying, we've seen some very concerning statements from the Premier, but this isn't just about one specific set of laws. This is about the whole package of changes to regulations and laws that they're proposing in this state. They want to criminalise people for trespassing on farms simply because they're trying to stand up against multinational corporations engaging in inhumane slaughter practices. They want to criminalise anyone who tries to stand up for refugees and asylum seekers, and are introducing harsher laws that make it hard for you to even visit people who are held at the Brisbane Immigration Detention Centre. It's disgusting. And of course they're coming hard after the Extinction Rebellion climate activists and the many other groups who are standing up for all of our futures, who are standing up against corporate greed and the corruption of multinational corporations. So I'm really disgusted with the state government, and I think we all need to recognise that this is not about one political party. This is about the way governments and the state apparatus works. This is about hierarchical, centralised power that's calculated to crush people. So we have our state MP Michael Berkman, who I think might be still doing a... Michael, where are you? I think he's doing an ABC interview. Oh yeah, he's still on the phone. Okay. Anna, where are you? We might invite Anna up from Action Ready. So they're a crew who are specifically concerned about the way the state government is cracking down on protesters and our right to peaceful assembly, which is a fundamental right. As many of you would know, previous generations of activists fought really, really hard to ensure that we would have the right to gather peacefully in public. And unfortunately, yeah, now we're seeing that we have to fight back yet again. So please welcome Anna to the mic to tell you more about that.
Interaction with the law, be that standing in the streets and raising our voices, or literally standing in the way of machinery and companies sending us hurtling into ecological and societal collapse. In any movement, knowledge is power, and knowing the system you want to change, knowing its flaws, knowing how it works, how you can push it, how you can use it, how you can protect yourself and take informed risks is essential to success. Alongside my incredibly smart and capable friends Bree and Claire, and remember your friends have so many skills and they're your greatest asset, we've spent the last month working hard to put together a space for learning about and engaging with the legal system in the context of climate activism. We thought we'd be able to step back then, a resource out in the world for your use, update it here and there, but now we're seeing civil liberties under attack and ongoing attempts by all levels and major parties in government to delegitimise any peaceful protest action and dehumanise the people fighting for a safe future for everyone. Shame! So we've ramped it up because the law has been a weapon used to enforce power structures and marginalised communities for hundreds of years in this country. Shame! And every time we speak up on these injustices, it's used again to silence us. Shame! If you want to know what you can do when you leave this rally, go to actionreadyqld.com and follow our Facebook page, Action Ready, for updates on new laws and information about what to do. We've developed templates. You can get involved. Please. We produced a campaign space under Take Action, so there's the templates, there's information about how to contact your local MPs if this isn't something you've done before. Ring them, email them, tell them you do not support their efforts to vilify peaceful protesters. Get informed and read some of the resources we have, so you can support yourself and your friends. Understand that this fight is one that marginalised communities have always battled in this country. And think about how we can use this momentum and anger and energy to make things better for everyone. To spotlight police misconduct and the complete lack of accountability, and to break down attitudes that equate law with morality. Know your rights, know your power, know your privilege, and use it.
Thanks, Anna. That's Action Ready. Look them up. Michael, you around yet? What we're going to do just immediately after we wrap up the rally is make space for an open mic session. I know there are a lot of different groups that want to let people know about other actions that are happening. I know there's another one in solidarity with the Wangan and Jagalingou people coming up later this week. So you'll have 1 minute at the microphone. Be short and concise, but if anyone wants to make a speech about anything, you can just come up, line up here, and we'll do an open mic session after the rally's over. I just wanted to make a note that we know the media is going to downplay this. We know the media is going to say, oh, there were only a few people, there was a small turnout, etc., because that's what the mainstream media does. And so that's what they're trained to do, that's correct. And we understand that game, and we know the game we're playing. But what's even more valuable than the media coverage is that all of you here today who just come here, who testify, who go back into your communities and talk to your friends and your family members about why you came out today, why you care about these issues, not just about the right to protest, but about all the other issues that we're forced to protest about in this country. So make sure that you become those advocates in your own neighbourhoods. Don't just be turned in our own little bubble saying, oh yeah, we're just going to talk to our friends. Actually connect with the community around you and become those advocates in the various communities you're a part of. Where's Michael now? Woo! He's still on the phone. Bloody ABC. Yeah. Let's do another chat, hey? Woo! Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime!
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime.
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime.
Palaszczuk, you've crossed the line!
Protesting is not a crime.
White collar criminals!
White collar criminals.
Selfish elitists!
Selfish elitists.
Screwing all our futures!
Screwing all our futures.
You're the real extremists!
You're the real extremists.
White collar criminals!
White collar criminals!
Selfish elitists!
Selfish elitists!
Screwing all our futures!
Screwing all our futures.
You're the real extremists!
You're the real extremists.
Thanks everyone.